In this video we're going to talk a little bit about the passive voice, that we should be familiarized with it as we will have to use it in academic writing and in formal style.
In the case of the active form, the subject of the sentence is the one who does the action, and the object is the thing that receives the action. For example, the penguins attacked my sister. We write in the active voice when we want to emphasize what does the action, in this case penguins, and the object of the sentence, my sister, receives the action. However, in the passive voice, the person or thing that receives the action is emphasized and not what does the action. The passive voice can also be used when we don't know who does the action, or just in case we don't want to mention whoever did it. For instance, my sister was attacked by the penguins. In contrast to the previous example, in the passive voice, the person or thing receiving the action, my sister, is emphasized, becoming the subject of the sentence, and penguins becomes the agent complement of the sentence.
The passive voice can also be formed with verbs that are normally followed by ing forms. For example, those verbs that express likes or dislikes. In this case, to make the passive voice, we put the verb to be in the ing form in front of the past participle. For example, John hates being insulted by his young students. When we want to refer to the past, we can use the present perfect, having plus past participle. If we want to form the passive voice, we follow the same structure, but we put the verb to be in the past participle between having and the main past participle. For example, having seen the deal, we went out to celebrate. There are some verbs which cannot be used in the passive voice. Intransitive verbs, they are action verbs like arrive, go, lie, and sit, and so on. They do not have a direct object describing the action. For example, they went to the cinema yesterday. Verb plus subject plus to plus infinitive verb. It happens when the object of the sentence is between the two verbs. For example, I want you to do your homework. State verbs, which are those verbs that describes a state and not an action. We cannot use them in continued tenses. They express emotion, possession, sense, and thoughts. For example, he seems confident. And finally, have plus noun to describe an action. For instance, Joe is having a bath or Peter is having a shower.
In real life, we can find the passive voice in many situations, such as in news reports, or in the newspaper. For example, the burglars were caught by the police. Or in scientific or formal writing, for example, the crystals were heated to a temperature of 150 degrees.
In instructions and rules. For example, smoking is forbidden at university.
Describing ways and methods of working. For example, the employees were rewarded with extra holidays.
We can use the passive voice with different structures. We use this structure, subject plus passive verb plus to plus infinitive, when we want to describe a general feeling, and not something said by a particular person, and when we do not want to mention the person who said that. For example, he was said to be very clever. In informal English, we can use get instead of be in passive forms, which describe actions. For example, how did he get hurt, or how was he hurt? However, we cannot get instead of to be to describe states. We can say, that house is owned by my uncle, but it is forbidden to use that house gets owned by my uncle, as own is a state verb. Get or have something done. We use to have or get something done when we want to say that someone does something for someone. The causative have is used when we want to express that someone is doing something for someone, when we want to do something or something is done to us. The structure is have plus a noun plus a past participle. For example, Liz and Meg are having her haircut.